And we are live. What's up, everybody? And thank you for joining the stream. It's been a little while. We've been pretty busy recently with all the content and the Trophy Hunter series, who have been very enjoyable to do for the last several weeks, and great feedbacks from the community, especially on Reddit and YouTube. Thanks for Bubsy for the shout out, and let's start this live class right away. So today, as I received few requests from you guys, we're gonna review the very basic, which are the game and the user settings. So this is basically the very first things you can do before even going into a game. And as I am on console, we're still gonna cover many parts that's gonna include PC. However, I won't be able to talk about much about the PC settings, especially the display. I know this is a very important part also on PC, especially for performances and FPS, as well as the control in details for mouse and keyboards. However, we're going to review the general game settings, which some points are quite important, if not detrimental to have maximum performances on your game. And we'll be reviewing also the game control for console, which I believe are the most demanding and the most challenging. What's up, Brad? Thanks for joining, and let's start right away. So we're not gonna need a gun for that. So let's start by the settings, and from the very start. So interact prompt style, this doesn't really matter, it's just a matter of preferences. Same for button hits. It's just if you want to have the information on your screen or not. Doesn't change much if you can change the compact and off. It's all really up to you and your own preferences. However, this is important thing, especially with caustic. Crosshair damage feedback. Why? So if you shoot at someone, obviously you know you're doing damages. But if, for example, you're gonna have to have your gas, and you're running around the map and the gas is so far away, you have no idea what's happening. However, so you want to have all the information, shield icon and the X, so when you fight and when you're not fighting. Let's just say I leave a gas trap here, for the lab rats, and I'm going like across the map. I walk like for 2 or 3 minutes, and then an enemy actually triggered the gas trap. Well, while walking around, you will see this crosshair, which is a very important information, and then you can open your map and know which trap disappear on your map, and you will know exactly where the enemy is at. So this is a cool feature, not to neglect, especially with Caustic or Watson. But Watson will have we have a quip who tell her that someone crossed our fence. So, but with Caustic, this is a very good way to locate enemy and know if you have a squad coming from behind, or if you leave a barrels in the bunker, for example, then you'll know they're coming. Damage number, everything. Of course, you want to know if you're doing damages and how much damages you're doing to your enemy. So you want everything. Ping opacity, matter of preferences. Obituaries. It's always good to know if the champ got killed or who's still alive and who's dead in your lobby. Now comes probably one of the most important gameplay settings in Apex, and this is the minimap rotation. So the minimap rotation, if you have it off, it's just gonna stay still. So unfortunately we don't have the minimap on the firing range, but everybody knows the minimap regardless. So if you have it off, it's just gonna stay still, and your on person is gonna rotate around the map. So why I really encourage this to have turn on? Because when it's on, the map is just gonna turn exactly as you see it when you play. So if I have this tunnel over there or this house on the right, it will be on the right on the map, not like on top if I'm turning on the left. So basically what the minimap auto rotation allows is allow you to have an instant feed and feeling of your surroundings, especially your teammates, where the ring is at, where is the ring is closing, where is the next building, the closest building, and things like that. So you really want, and I insist on that, to have the minimap rotation turn on. I talk a lot with other players, argue on that. Some say that it's terrible and don't recommend it, but I'm telling you. And the simple argument I can use is, if you're driving a car or using Google Walk, for example, you're in a street and using your GPS, the GPS of the car is not gonna show the map where the north is, where the south is, and tell your car that you're driving on the right and you need to turn left. No, the map is just following exactly the position of your car. If you're heading up east, it's still forward for the map. And so this minimap is like a GPS basically. And you don't want to have the extra brain or take half a second, additional second to think, where am I, where is my teammate, where is this, where is that. You want to have an instant feeling of the map and your surroundings. And having the minimap on will give you that game awareness and game sense that is really detrimental into the game. So this is a must. Get the minimap rotation on and never change it back. Get used to it if you're not used to it. This is really gonna help you. And yeah, no brainer. But somehow, Usama, some people still say that it has to be off. So passing on to the next one, weapon auto circle rotation when empty. I put it off because I just prefer to switch my gun if I want to, when I want to. It's barely happens anyway. It's kind of rare, except on early fight that you're gonna end up with an empty mag, so this doesn't really matter. Auto sprint, yes. I don't know why you will not want to run all the time in this fast-paced crazy game, so no brainer again. Double tap to sprint, well, it's irrelevant if you're always running. Jetpack control, this is more for Valkyrie mains, so again, I think it's a matter of preferences. Income damage feedbacks, obviously you want to have as much feedbacks as you can, like how many damages you got, where are they coming, the damages, and things like that. This one also no-brainer and very important. By default it's on, which is kind of surprising, and you really want this to be off for two reasons. First, if you're looting a box, and especially on console where you're actually standing still and you're not moving, but even on PC, and you're gonna grab this red Evo that you from your knock and your kill or your thirst, and you really want to grab it because you're one shot, or you're just like 20. If you're one shot, you're gonna die anyway. But if you're like 50 health or lower than that, or in any case, you don't want the box to be closed just because you have like someone shot at you from a long range, or you're burning into a termite. You want to be able to go into that box, take the damage you're gonna hear, and grab all this loot regardless, and then leave by your own will. And the other very important things that actually we realize, especially now that they changed the ring damages, if you have this feature off, the taking damage, it's also gonna kick you out of the crafting menu. Which means if you're gonna craft a medkit from the crafting menu and you're not like instant fast, it's just gonna kick you out of the crafting menu. And then you need to go back in and spam the button to craft the medkit that you desperately need before dying from the ring. So yeah, this is also an absolute off. Pop-up. I put it off because you don't want to focus on the useless information. Basically, when you grab a gun, when you grab a gun and you finally find the attachment that you need, which is here, well, you kind of know it, that you got the ammo point at that point, or you got the double tap or the turbocharger. So you don't really need to, every time you're gonna change to this gun, this reminder that it's obvious the attachment that you have is still on the gun, it didn't drop off. So it's just a small visual distraction that you don't want to have. Again, in Apex, you really want to focus as much as possible on the essential information on the screen, the enemy, your teammates, the minimap and stuff like that. So this is basically useless. Streamer mode, if you want being anonymous. Yo, what's up, Brandon? Thanks for joining, bro. So streamer mode, this is again preferences. If you want to be anonymous, if you want to know everybody that you're the goat of the lobby, up to you. Same for this part. I mean, it's only helpful, I guess, if you're streaming a lot, if you're getting stream snipe. But again, you can put a delay on your game, so. User sharing, if you trust TA and Respawn to collect your data in total anonymity, well, do it. I don't see why not. I have nothing to hide. Cross-platform, of course, you want to play with your fellow Xbox, PC, Nintendo Switch and PlayStation players. Performance display, it's quite important, and since I'm used to play a lot, this is the little thing you can see on the top right of your screen. I cannot point at it, but it's always good to know your ping, your FPS, if you have a bad internet or if you're used to play on 4-rank server. So at least you know if you have some ping spike or thing like that. So this is quite interesting. It's always good to show off your FPS if you have a good graphic card. Club invites, doesn't really matter. Communication filter, I put it to nobody or friends only for a while, but it's kind of sad after being like trash talked by some guys, especially in rank or whatever. Even if you're in the party chat, people can still send you text message, but it's kind of sad though, because you're gonna miss, beside 90% of the trash talk you're gonna receive, you're still gonna miss the 10% of interesting people around. So it's keep the door open. It's always good to talk to others and see what happens. Reticle, this is if you want to have a cool laser sight or good color on your reticle, so this again by preferences. Colorblind mode, subtitle size, chat feature, this is all about preferences. I like to have the incoming chat as a text speech. It's funny when people just don't have a mic and send you a text message. Basically, it's always funny to have a little voice, so it gives a voice to the voiceless, again, just by preferences. And that's basically it. So in this first menu, to remember, the most important thing you need to switch right here, right now, is the minimap rotation to on, auto sprint to on, and the taking damage, closing dead box to off. Those are really the third more important settings, I will say, on the gameplay here. Alright, moving on to the controllers, and this is probably gonna freak you out a little bit when we're gonna go to the sensitivity. But let's start very, very quickly on the button layout. So if you guys are on PC, I'm guessing you can take a small break or have a drink, because this is not gonna interest you much, except if you are using a controller, obviously. So if you're new to the game or play casually, you're gonna probably experience an annoying issue using the default settings, which are the melee button. So when you're in the middle of a fight and you're shooting at someone and you have this, I don't know, you crisp on your controller, which can happen in intense situation, and right in the middle of the fight you just like end up pressing the melee button and stops you from shooting or stops you from reloading. well, this is annoying. So you don't want the melee button to be on the stick where you're gonna move or look at. So this is one of the things I recommend, is to remove it, and basically you want to have those two sticks here with as less impact on your game as possible. So I switched the toggle zoom to the sprint, which is basically a useless button, so if I press it or not in the middle of a fight, it's not gonna affect my aim, it's not gonna affect the fight or anything. And I switched crouch. I used to have it before on the button, but then I switched it to the L pad, and this is also a game changer, and it's fantastic. I don't like to have the sprint on the left and the crouch on the right, because I want to have my look as free as possible. And obviously if you're gonna look and you have to press a button, it's gonna affect the way you're gonna look or aim at an enemy. See, if I'm looking around left, right, and I have no problem doing that. But then if I want to press the button at the same time, well, it's not gonna be. It's gonna affect your accuracy. So I have the crouch on the left, which doesn't bother me because basically the crouch moves at the same time with the movement of the character. So I jump in the air, turn around, slide, crouch at the same time. It's fantastic. It works well, doesn't affect me. I don't have my melee anymore on the right stick, so even if I press it by mistake or shooting someone, I'm not gonna have this annoying hammer stuff. And after, a little things that is quite interesting is I got the healing there, which is basically the most remote part, which is not very convenient since the healing is quite important. And why do I have it here is because actually this button and the melee buttons are actually on my two additional buttons I got at the back. So I got two extra triggers, which basically allow me to, like in the middle of a fight, right away have an instant melee button that also not gonna affect and not gonna appear from anywhere. And this melee button at the back as an extra trigger is also great because you can move around when you do those fantastic heirloom or fist fight. You can move it around, you can look around, and then it's like a trigger basically. Of course, if you switch directly to the fist mode, to the heirloom mode, you're not gonna. You can just press the normal firing trigger. But if you have a gun, well, you can just move as fluently as possible and take those feats or this big hammer or whatever heirloom you guys get in the middle of a fight out of nowhere, and it's quite cool. And my other trigger, which is the right trigger, is the healing menu. That's why when you sometimes you look at your friends when you're, or you can really tell an enemy sometimes they're just running around and they're looking somewhere, and you can guess that they are inside the menu looking for the items that they want. So having those two extra buttons is quite good. There is many devices you can add on your pad to help on that, and being able to in a second take the healing menu that you need without affecting anything. Like I can still look around, move around, strafe, hide at the same time, and get the proper heal in less than a second. It's really useful. So that's basically it on button layout. After interact reload button, so this is kind of can give you a headache, honestly, because as a caustic main, every one of us has been in the situation. So let's just pretend this is a stupid door and you have a trap. And you need to reload, right? And if you have the same button on reloading, you're gonna rather take your trap off or open the door or reload at the same time, and everything is going wrong. So that's why actually this setting is interesting, because you can just decide exactly. Well, I'm gonna need some ammo. You can decide here if you want to reload or pick up. But it could be great, but it's not. For the simple reason that you don't want to hold every time you reload, or on the opposite, hold every time you're going to open a door or pick up a gas trap, because this is going to be again a waste of time. When in Apex every millisecond, every tenth of a second really matter. You don't want to like, wait, I'm gonna hold to pick up my gas or hold to press the door. You want to just tack, open the door, reload, put a gas trap, take back the gas trap in a second. So instead of that, you just gonna need to learn with the to work around that. So basically, if you want to reload and you're at the door in front of a gas trap, or just get away from the line of sight. In which case, it's quite interesting to have this information on the screen. That's why people remove all the information on the screen, even if they say it's quite useful, it's useless and things like that. You know exactly where you can safely reload without opening the door, or reload without getting your gas trap. So just learn to work around that, and it should be fine. What else do we have here? Crouch button toggle. Yes, because I want to crouch and be able to loot my dead box or heal or whatever without my finger being still utilized and busy on this. So again, I think this doesn't really matter, but it's mostly preferences. Survival slot button on. You want it on. Why? Because if you're one shot outside the ring, especially now that the ring is really damaging, starting from the very first ring level, you want to be able to take this heat shield in a second and not dying in the ring. So the only thing I put it off, and this is really stupid, but it shouldn't be on, but it's off, is because I missed this this observation, inspect weapon stuff. Before it used to be a button before the survival items arrived, and now if you want to do stupid stuff like your teammate are dead and you want to cheer to them, or inspect your heirloom, or do whatever stupid animation, then it's kind of annoying to go inside the menu every time, and especially if you're doing some editing or some videos. Well, you don't want that, so this is stupid. Don't do it, except if you, like me, you rather have a funny emote or funny inspect coming at the right time, and expect dying in the ring if you're not able to pop up that heat shield in a second. Because if you do that, basically, if you want to have this heat shield or a mobile respawn, you need to open the menu, get your survival item, and then you can put it on. So you're automatically gonna lose a little bit of time. It's not a lot, but if you're one shot and outside the ring, yeah, it's gonna matter. Menu cursor speed, so this against your preferences. How fast do you want to go around? This adjusts to wheel, and let's go to the crispy part of this. So, oh, vibration, yeah, also off, because you don't want your. I mean, it's sad, but even if you enjoy to have those feedbacks and sensation, you want it off because it can affect your aim if it's vibrating at the wrong moment, or if you need this micro millimeters adjustment on your stick to get the proper headshot. Movement dead zone, small, large if your pad is a bit rusty or old and you have some drift, then yes. If you have a new pad or you clean it up frequently, then you can have it too small. And all those settings are not really important because I went to ALC. So this again, it's a matter of preferences. If you like, most of Apex player likes to have high sensitivity. I'm probably one of the few who doesn't. So I'm playing on very low speed, and that's why I need to have the ALC on. So dead zone is 0 because right now I got the chance of having a new controller clean with 0 drift. So it's perfect. If you have a little bit of drift, you need to adjust that, but again, don't be careful not to put it too high, otherwise you will not be able to be extremely precise. On the opposite, the outer threshold can be a bit high, so you can run like right away. If you're a Revenant or if you like to just walk towards your enemy, you can put it lower, matter of responses. Of preferences, response curve, extremely high. I want my stick to be extremely responsive. Same for my my triggers here. Yeah, the dead zone of the trigger. I want them to be extremely responsive. I don't want to fully press to be able to aim. I want to aim in less time as possible and be able to shoot as quick as possible. So if you can have the luxury of enjoying those extremely responsive settings, then do it. After that, if you want to try those settings, I'll let you have a look at it and you can pause and try them. But just to explain, basically, since I have a low sensitivity, I don't want to take like forever to turn around with this sensitivity. So basically, I just calculated on the way I play is how long do I usually have to look around before, like, this is a fight, but if I want to look around to turn around, like, how long does it usually take for me to be able to turn around right away? And that's why I got this acceleration is gonna come within like 1 second, which basically 1 second is enough. When I'm in a fight, I'm not gonna track a person for longer than that if he moves around. And then being able to turn around and have this extra speed needed. If, for example, you're gonna jump in the air and shoot at someone, or slide down and have to aim at your target and then aim back to continue to run without affecting you. So that's why those settings are quite interesting and works for me. And the only things that can matters, even if you're working on high or low sensitivity, is always remember there is to differentiate the yaw and the pitch. So technically your yaw speed should be much higher than your pitch speed. And why? Because in a fight, or even if you're looking at the map or aiming at someone, you're basically always, you're gonna have much more need to look left and right than up and down. It's very, very rare that you have those targets that you shoot from the top. It's gonna happen, obviously, but it's not like all the time you need to go at 90 degrees down and 90 degrees up. That's why, as you can see, my response on the vertical, there is still a small acceleration in case I need to look up a little bit quicker, but much more responsive and left and right, and much more sensitive and a little bit faster also, because you want to adjust. Basically, when you're in a fight, you're gonna have like roughly it's a 45 to 90 degrees, which is also determined by your view sight, but that's basically it. Technically it should be a 45 degrees, and this is the angle I have, and I can be fast enough in this, and then slightly lower, because even in close fight you're not gonna need to adjust very, very much vertically. So this is why I have this difference. And that's basically it for the controls. So spend some time in the firing range. That's the best thing you can do. Adjust to your preferences, feel what's really works for you, and find what's really gonna give you the best aim possible. I have those settings because I used to play on PC long time ago, and I never managed to be able to get the same feeling and sensation with a pad, obviously. But I like to have this ability of being able to adjust like very slightly, like I used to do on a mouse. And if you have high sensitivity, it's very difficult, or I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I cannot have this ability of being able to aim very, very precisely with a high sensitivity. And like with the sensitivity I got, I can literally go on every inch of the map. I can adjust in a second where their head gets proper shots and things like that, and that's why I want to have this low sensitivity. And since you don't have any acceleration, unlike with a mouse, then I committed to have this low sensitivity and got used to it. I know the weaknesses it's also bring with, and position it myself and take the fight in this level. So one thing also, if you guys are gonna commit also to a low sensitivity, one thing you're gonna notice is especially if you like to snipe around, or if you have even if with just a 3x or even a 2x, it might take some time to go from one target or another, or if your teammate are pinging. In which I got this cool trick which works very well. Is basically you're gonna remove the scope and move at the same time. So this is how it works. I want to switch to one target, I can switch to the other target. Instead of moving the way around or trying to follow a target who's running at fast pace, you can just glimpse like that. And it's quite great because it basically you don't lose any sight of the map. Like, you can really keep tracking on your enemy, and you move much faster. If you need to reposition your snipe in a second, it's really, really cool. And on a 3 or 2x4x it works even better. Because it's kind of, it doesn't unzoom because you go too fast, but you got the acceleration as if you were like rotating without the aim. So this is also quite cool and helps you to relocate and adjust your aim in just a second. And it's a good compromise from a low sensitivity standpoint. And but after that, that's pretty much it. So let's not talk about this part. The melee is broken anyway, it doesn't work anymore. If you really want to improve your aim, I do it sometimes. You can remove what they call, this is basically what this called by the aim assist. They call it target compensation. But you're also gonna notice when you use very low sensitivity, you basically don't have any aim assist. You can feel it sticking a little bit, as you can see it here. Now I'm not touching the pad at all, so it sticks a little bit. But if you're aiming, it doesn't match much more, because you're so precise on your aim and you have such a slow, muddy. It might feel muddy at first if you guys are not used to slow sensitivity, but no matter what, you don't need the aim assist much after that, because you're just gonna stick on the target no matter what with this type of sensitivity, and this is what I really like. And you want to keep it when you do melee fight, because especially now that the melee has been changed and it's quite broken, as you can see, you want to have this little target compensation, I guess. But it's not gonna change anything more, unlike before when basically you had like a strong magnet guiding your hammer or fist toward the enemy. Voila. Audio, nothing. This is just, don't ruin your ears. Keep always a normal level of audio. I have the settings on my PlayStation. I think I am like half to 10 off from the maximum. Preserve your ears. Better you actually invest in a good headphones rather than having to put crazy volume to be able to hear footsteps 100 miles away, while having like your eardrum pierced by a grenade or a Spitfire. So audio, there is nothing to say. And to finish the video, I got brightness to maximum. This depends also on your TV and things like that, but when you fight in dark places, it doesn't open a lot, except on the next Halloween mode that I'm expecting in October. But yeah, I like to have to be able to see in the dark places if there is someone hiding in a corner. So this also depends, of course, of your graphics and TV. The FOV, I put it at 100. I like to have a large FOV. It's not the largest, It's not the one by default, but it's the one who works well for long range, close range engagement and things like that. So if you think actually having a short FOV is great, because it's technically gonna bring the target closer, so it's kind of give you an extra scope by itself. The problem is when you're gonna fight in very, very, very close range with a short FOV, you're gonna lose sight of the enemy in second. So whether you have to shoot at him or fight with him, you're gonna lose your enemies from your sight right away, and you're gonna realize that a short FOV, even though it seems technically great for long range or sniper or thing like that, at close range fight it's terrible. Let me show you. See, you don't see anybody anymore. Like the guy is just there and you don't see him anymore when you should be able to. So on that, I would recommend at minimum at least 85 to 90, and after work what suits you the best. I go at 100. It's a good compromise between a crazy FOV and a short one. And that's basically it. Preview check. You don't want it to move like crazy when you're running, if you're doing some fire shots or whatever. And scaling ability, yes, no problem on that. So that's it for the game and the user setting. First class stream that we are having right now. I hope you guys got some useful information from that. If you have any question, let me know. And now I'm just gonna go and play. If you guys are set up too, hope those settings will help you and get the best out of the game and improve your performances. So I'll probably release a new masterclass next week, mostly focus on Caustic, obviously, and I'll try to do some live stream like that more oftenly about some specific subjects that don't really deserve a long edited video, but that we can talk about and share with you. I hope the Loba ult trick was cool this week. Many people actually didn't know that Loba hacking stuff, so I was happy that now everybody who's following the stream and the socials learn about that. It's a great thing to have some extra stuff and loot, and actually you can even ask your teammate to ping a stuff around and you can dib it and find the item by yourself, so it's kind of great. Voila, that's pretty much it. So it's Friday evening for you guys, it's Saturday morning for me here in Asia, and but I'm gonna start the day after this kind of warm-up firing range experience. We're gonna go into some cool games and end for those last legendaries remaining. So you guys take care. If you have any question, put them in the comments on the video, and I will get back to you. Have fun playing the game. Enjoy doing as much finishers as you can. We have also a new Discord channel server we just opened, where you guys can post your more beautiful, outstanding, magnificent finishers and share some cool content there. So I invite you to join the Discord server. You should find the link from Instagram or YouTube, from the community or everywhere. Anyway, you can find it everywhere. Join us on Discord. We're gonna have fun there. We're gonna also have maybe some weekly poll for the best finisher of the week from your guys' submissions. So I really want to create a small finisher aficionados / addicts community there, because well, finishers are great, right? We love to do that. So let's create this finishers nutheads community together, guys, and Brat has been helping me a lot on the Discord server, so it's you guys should be able to enjoy it and appreciate it, and find a safe place to share this this beautiful passion, and unrated passion, obviously. So have a good day, be safe out there, and I'll be seeing you very soon on the online or in a game. If you guys want to join, hit me up. I'm gonna play now. Send me an invite. Let's join the fun and enjoy your Friday night or weekend for wherever you are. You guys take care. Huh? Be safe out there, and see you soon. Thanks again for joining the stream, and hope you enjoyed.